All right, the latest news break coming in. President Pranab Mukherjee has now pulled out of the mega cultural festival by spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. The president has pulled out of the event amidst reports of environment law violation and farmers not getting adequate compensation from the organizers of the mega culture festival. Over 3.5 million people are expected to attend the event taking place in the economically fragile Yamuna bed. While a mega show has been planned for Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Foundation Art of Living. Now, the farmers claim compensation did not cover their sowing cost. All right, what I'd like to do is immediately cut across to my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu, who's getting us up to speed with the latest to give us perspective in the newsroom. Our senior editor, Gaurav Sawant, also joining us. Want to cut across to Kamal first. Kamal, you've been speaking to the farmers. You've been, on the ground, assessing the situation, picking up the latest. You filed a comprehensive report on this. What are you picking up? Is there political motivation behind these protests? How much truth is there? Give us the whole story.
Well, the event has definitely run into rough weathers, and we're talking about the likes of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, most of NDA cabinet, which is going to be there present from 11th to 13th. But what is more important is not just the number of dignitaries, foreign dignitaries, 35 lakh people, but it's also talking about the violation. Now, remember, in my hand is expert committee report. This is a damning report. It talks about how there has been a clear violation by the Art of Living. The permission was given by DDA, and remember, twice earlier, DDA had cancelled permission to them. Why them have actually turn around? The DDA telling the NGT court where there's a trial going on every single day so that they can actually close in on this particular issue before the 11th of March when this function really starts. Now, what is really important, if I can actually read out a few lines from here, is the fact that they're talking about how there has been a loss of the entire floodplain which has been completely destroyed.
Kamal, this report that you're holding can be attributed to who?
This is the expert committee report which was formed by the NGT itself. Now, this is the panel which had submitted its report to the NGT. They demanded a fine from anywhere from 100 to 120 crore rupees, saying there should be a restoration of the Yamuna Plain Bank. And remember, there's been massive amount of levelling, not just by the JVC. Today we saw the army trucks were there, very much present. 5,000 army men, trucks there, a huge amount of placement of mega structures there. And remember, all that particular soil which has been shifted and vegetation removed, trees removed. Now, environmentalists say this is the biggest threat to Yamuna. Now, there have been crores spent into saving Yamuna campaign, but what is the government really doing now is the big question which is being asked. Right now, when we did try and speak to the BJP leaders, and Mahesh Giri, remember, a former director himself in Art of Living, has clearly said that they are the ones who are actually for saving Yamuna, that there would be a puja or a prayer which would be performed for protecting Yamuna, and this is only a few environmentalists who are basing their own aspect and perhaps fearing that they would lose a job. But this is one part of it, but many environmentalists raising concerns at this point of time.
All right, Kamal, stay on with us. It's a bizarre explanation given by the BJP that they want to conduct a yagya there so that, to pray for the Yamuna. However, the Yamuna is far gone, way beyond prayer, many would believe. But on the other side, how much political motivation can be attributed to what we are witnessing right now? Because the Congress had also flagged up the issue very closely. Want to connect to Gaurav Sawant, who's with us right now. Gaurav, give us the whole story, because there are contradictory reports which are coming to the fore. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar on his own suggests that there's absolutely nothing wrong. They're going to leave the place prettier, cleaner than they took it. On the other hand, there's this NGT report, and then when you look at it, the amount of politics that is being played on the sidelines.
This indeed is very fascinating at this point of time, but that big story that, Rashtrapati Bhavan sources have now confirmed that President Pranab Mukherjee has opted out. The president will not go for the closing ceremony of the World Cultural Festival. And this was one of the highlights. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was to inaugurate it, and President Pranab Mukherjee was to be there at the closing ceremony. Now, Rashtrapati Bhavan sources telling India Today that the president has opted out. Now, officially no reason has come forward, but it is this controversy the environment controversy, farmers not being paid adequate compensation allegation, and also the politics of the subject, over the subject. So the three issues why the president has chosen to opt out of this. The last clearly not heard of this, Preeti, because this matter is now at the National Green Tribunal, and it's for the tribunal to decide whether the function will go ahead or not, and is a compensation of 100 or 120 crore sufficient for the damages that the NGT panel has said that's been caused to this Yamuna floodplain.
Well, it is interesting to note because no official reason as to why the president has pulled out of this event given right now. What we will do is keep a close eye on developments there. With that.